Hello guys, it is Shivam here. Welcome to a brand new video where we are going to develop the recipe app from the scratch with Flutter and Firebase. We are going to cover recipe database, recipe details, recipe submission and many more. So do not forget to hit that like button. Let's keep like aim on this video is of 500 likes. I know you will definitely do that. Also, do hit that subscribe button so that you won't miss out on any of the upcoming videos we upload on this channel. Now let's get started. And we'll create a awesome recipe app from the scratch with Flutter. So in this app series, I'm going to make like a complete beginner friendly app so that the viewer or subscriber who are learning the Flutter for the first time can follow this complete series and can add a recipe app to his app bucket list. Though this is a 10th app on this channel because we have already made a 9th apps before on this channel. Basically there is a food delivery app, or e-commerce or shopping app, chat app, quiz app. So there are lots of app series that we have already developed on this channel, so you can follow that series and can learn lots of things regarding the Flutter and Firebase. So on this recipe app, the user can click to the any food recipe, or they can search any recipe and can get the complete thing like how they can make that food by following this app. So there will be a complete step by step process that has been written on the app and the user can follow that. So there will be one more thing, like I will add a plus button on this app where the user can upload the different recipe that they know. So let's move to the leaf folder and we'll create a new folder name which will be pages, and inside the pages folder I will create a new file which name will be home.dart. Now in home.dart file I will simply write import material.dart and will simply import the package, and will first create a stateful widget name which will be home. Now I will write scaffold body container child column children. Now after this, so if you are getting a blue lines under each widgets, you can simply remove that by adding two lines from the rules section. So let's move to the analysis options.yml file and add just two lines in the rules section. So let me add that two lines over here. So here it is, and here you can see that I have added two lines in the rules section, and it will almost remove the lines from each widgets. Now after this, I'm going to create like looking for your favorite email text at the top right of the screen with a user image at the top right corner. So to do that, we already know that we need a row children, and we'll write text, and in the text I will simply write looking for your favorite favorite meal. Now we can pass the styling to this text by using text style. So I will write simply text style. Now I'll pass the color which will be colors dot black. Font size will be 20.0 and font weight dot bold. Now, so this is the styling that we are again going to use again and again for the different text widgets that we use on the app. So we did not need to write the style again and again in the text widget. So I will simply do one thing, like in the leaf folder I will create a new folder name which will be widget, and I will create a new file in our widget folder which will be support widget.dart. Now in the support widget.dart file I will simply create a class name which will be app widget. Now I will write static and will pass a text style. So I will simply write text style. Now in the text style I will write bold field text style, something like this, and we can simply return a second. So we'll return, and we need to pass like this. and we can simply pass the styling. So I will copy this, just a style, and will paste it over here, something like this. Now we can import the package, and here it is. Now we can call the home.dart page so that I can show you what I'm writing in home.dart file. So here it is. Now we can remove this debug mode check banner. So in the main.dart you can simply pass debug. So wait a second, debug, so check banner to false, and here it will simply remove this debug banner from the top. Now in the home.dart file I will simply do one thing, like I can pass /n, and we can increase the font size too, so I will pass 25. Now we can provide the padding from the margin from the top and left position. So I will do one thing, like I will pass the margin edge insert dot only from the top 20.0 and from the left 20.0. We need to provide some more margin from the top, so I will change it to 40, maybe 50. So here you can see that looking for your favorite meal, and here I want to show the user image. So let me paste some image, but in the images folder you can see that I have added some of the images that I want to show in the home page. So I will show you where I will use this image in our home.dart file. But before that, let's add the random user image in the images folder. So here I've added boy.jpg image. Now after this I will simply use image.asset. But if you are calling a image that you have saved in the images folder or any asset folder, now to call that image, let's move to the perspec.ml file, and you can simply call that folder name from here. Do not forget to pass a folder name in perspec.ml.file, otherwise you can't call an image and it will simply pass an error. So I will write images. Now after that I will write boy.jpg. So I will pass the height, which will be 30, and width 30, and fit boxfit.cover. Yeah, something like this. Now we can increase the image size. So I will simply pass the height and width up to 50. Now we can provide the maximum space between the text and the image by using the spacer, or you can use like main axis alignment dot space between two, but both will do the same thing. So you can use both the cases, but we need to provide the padding from the right position. But you might be thinking that if I've already wrote margin, then why I don't pass a margin from the right position? The reason is that I will show you when we'll move with a coding from in our home.dart page, where we don't need a margin from the right position. So it will create a problem. So rather than, we can simply pass a padding to each widgets. So I will simply pass a padding dot only right 20.0. Now we can provide the border radius to the image by using clip react widget. So I will simply write clip react border radius dot circular. Now we can provide the radius up to 10, and we can increase the font size, not font, image size, up to 60. So it's up to your choice, like how much height and width you want to give for the image. Now after this I need to provide a search bar, so that for an example, if a user looking for a specific recipe, they can use this search bar and can search the recipe they are looking for. So this is not the first time, as I have told you before in the starting of the video, that I am using the search bar on the app. I have already used in my last series, which was e-commerce app, and I think so I have used in the chat app series too. So if you have followed that series, then you will don't find any problem to add a search bar in your app. But if you didn't follow that series, you can follow that series and can get to know lots of things regarding the Flutter and Firebase. You can find all the series link in the description box. So let's move, and we'll simply pass an container, and we'll write with media query dot of context dot size dot width, and in the container I will simply write a child. Now it is a text field, so I will simply write a text field. Now just if you pass a text field, then you will see there is a line in the text field. Now to remove this line, you can pass decoration, input decoration, border, input border dot none, and it will simply remove this line from the text field. Now here I will write decoration, box decoration, and in the color I will pass colors dot white. Maybe there is some light color, so let's, you can provide the color like, so I have used some random color over here, not a random, a random code, color code you can say that. So you can pass the like color according to your choice by using this section. Now as I've told you that we need to pass a padding from the right position, so I will simply write a padding 20.0. Maybe we can pass margin because padding work from inside, not from outside. Here we have passed the padding outside the widget, that why it's worked. So I will write inch edge insert dot only from the right 20.0. Now we can provide the size box from the top, so I will write size box height 20.0. Now after this we can provide the border radius to this container, so I will simply write border radius dot circular 20. So here it is, but we can provide 10. Now I want to show a search icon over here, so to show the search icon we'll pass a suffix icon in the input decoration. I think so it is suffix icon, not prefix. I already get confused with a suffix and prefix. So we'll write search outlined. Yeah, so it is suffix icon. Now here I can write a text like search recipe. So I will write one thing. I will pass a hint text which will be search recipe. Yeah, and we can provide the padding, so we'll write padding edge insert dot only from the left 10.0. Yeah, so here you can see the text name search recipe with a search icon. Now after this search icon I want to show the categories of the recipe like soup, main course, or you can say Indian, Chinese. So we have already added that image and we are going to show the image for the category section in our recipe app. Just below this search bar, as I have told you that we were going to add some category, so there will be a specific category. So to write that category we need a list view, so that the user can scroll and can see all the categories. For now I am just adding the 4 categories, but if you want you can add more categories in your app. So I will simply write a list view over here, so I will write list view. Now we need a children. Now I will simply write a container. Now in the container I want to show the image which will be the child image dot asset, and will get the image from the images folder. So I will write images, and after that I need to write our image file name. So I will write soup.jpg and will give the height maybe up to 90 and width 90 and fit boxfit.cover. Fit boxfit.cover. Yeah, something like this. Now after that uh, we can do one thing, like we can wrap up with a column widget. So wait a second. Yeah, we wrap up with a column widget and we'll pass a text widget just below this image. So I will simply write text, and in the text I will write soup recipes, something like this. I hope that spelling is correct, not IES, it will be recipes. So here it is soup recipes. Now as you can see that there it will show the some overflow error, or you can say render box error, because you have passed a list view. Now you need to do one thing, like you can wrap up the list view with an expanded widget, and here it is. So as you can see the image here, but I want to show the image in the horizontal direction so that the user can scroll and can see all the categories. So I will simply write scroll and will pass axis dot horizontal. So we'll write axis dot horizontal. So here it is. Now we can provide the height from the top. So I will write size box height maybe 20.0. So here it is. Now we can increase the size maybe up to 120 and 120. Now we can provide the gap between the text and the image. So I will simply write the size box height 10.0. Now after this I will write cross axis alignment dot start, and here you can see the name, but if it will be center then I think so it will look more good. So I will remove the cross axis and will write style text style. Rather than writing text style we can use app widget class, but we don't need a bold text field style. So I will simply do one thing, like let me write a text style and will paste the text style in the app widget class so that we can use this style again and again in the app. Now I'll simply write color, which will be colors dot black. Now font size, will increase the font size up to 20. I think so 20 will be too much, maybe 18. Yeah, and maybe 18, or we can do 16. Yeah, and font weight dot w500 w500. Yeah, something like this. Now we can provide the border radius to this image. So I will simply wrap up with a clip react widget. So I will write clip react border radius dot circular and will pass the border radius 10. So here it is. Now here you can see the image, and let's pass this text style in app widget class. So I will simply move here and will create a static text style and will write light field text style, something like this. Now we'll simply return, and in return we'll pass a text style. So we'll copy this text style and we'll paste it over here, something like this. Now after this we need to pass a light field text style over here. So I will simply write app widget class, app widget class dot light text field style. So here it is. Now you can see that just writing a one line I can simply pass a style, and we can use this again and again when we need to write a text in the light form. So after this we need to copy this container and we'll paste it over here so that I can show some more categories. So something like this. Now we need to provide the gap. So I will write margin edge insert dot only right 20.0. So after this we need to write a second image name, which is main course dot jpg. So here you can see the main course, and we'll write main course. Yeah, and after this we can write one more image file name, which is Indian. So I will write indian.jpg, indian.jpg. Yeah, and we can pass a margin again. So I will write margin edge insert dot only right 20.0, something like this, and you can scroll and can see all the categories over here. Now last one is Chinese. So I will write Chinese dot jpg, and we can pass a margin edge insert dot only right 20.0. Yeah, maybe we need to pass a margin over here. Yeah, and we can change to Indian recipes. So Indian recipes, and here it is, and last one is Chinese. Yeah, so here it is, and here you can see all the categories that we are going to show in our recipe app. Now if you want, you can increase the size of an image to look it more attractive. So I think so I can increase the height and width of the image. Yeah, so here it is. Now you can clearly see the different categories in our recipe app. Now after this, just below this category, I want to show some trending recipes in our recipe app. So here I am going to add some food items, and by clicking to that food items, the user will directly move to the recipe page from where they can see all the recipe that they need to make the food. So again we need to use a list view. So I will write a list view over here, and it will pass a children, and we can write container. Now I will pass child column and again children. Now I'll again use image.asset and will write images. Now let me paste some of the image of the food items in the images folder. So I paste a two image in images folder, but as you can see that after a hot restart, it frequently remove all the widgets that I have shown in the home page because of the list view. Now we need to pass again expanded over here, and here you can see the image, not an image. We didn't pass an image file name, so I will simply write burger.jpg, and we can pass the height and width to the image. So I will write height 200, width 200, and fit boxfit.cover. Now here you can see the image, and you know that to show the image we need to pass a scroll. Not to show the image, to scroll the image in the horizontal direction, we need to pass a scroll direction axis dot horizontal. So here you can see that when I'm passing a list view, there is uneven space between this category and the trending food recipe item that I want to show in the app. But to remove this uneven space, this is because I have added an expanded widget over here, and expanded widget itself says that it will suggest the list view to take as maximum space list view can, and to provide a fixed height to the list view, we need to just wrap up with a container, and we can pass the height 200 and the width media query dot of context dot size dot width. Now you already know the use of media query. Now after this, you can see that there is not any uneven space between this category and the image. Now after that, I can do one thing. I can simply increase my image height and width up to 300. So 300 will be too much. Maybe we can pass up to 250, something like this. Now we can provide the border radius to this image. So we'll again wrap up with a clip react widget. So I will write clip react. Now we'll write border radius dot circular up to 10. Yeah. Now after this, we can pass a recipe name. So let's do one thing. Let's provide the height from the top. So I will write size box height 20.0, and maybe 250 will be okay. We can increase the height up to 300. Yeah. So here it is. Now we can pass pasta, then we'll pass a burger. I will give a priority to pasta, then burger. So sorry for burger lovers. Now we can pass the height. We can pass the container again in the list view, and we can change the file name to burger.jpg, and we can pass the margin from the right position. We will write margin right 20.0. So here it is, and here you can see the pasta and burger. Now if you want, you can add some more recipes over here, and we can write a recipe name just below this image. Now I will simply write the text widget, and it is an red sauce pasta. So I will write red sauce pasta. I think so we need to pass it over here. Though I love red sauce pasta, but I don't like white sauce. So let me know who are red sauce pasta lovers and who are white sauce pasta lovers. Now we can pass a style by using app widget class again. So I will write app widget dot light text fill style, or you can pass a bold text fill style too. So we'll write bold text fill style. Yeah, so red sauce pasta. Now we can provide the height. So I will write size box height maybe 20.0. 20 will be too much. We can pass 10. So here it is. You can pass cross axis alignment dot start. I think so. Yeah, it is okay. And it is burger, not burger, it is burger. So we'll write one thing. So write text widget again, and we'll write cheeseburger. Cheeseburger. Style app widget dot bold text fill style. Now we can again pass the height. So we'll write size box height up to 10.0, something like this. So here you can see red sauce, cheese, burger or burger. Now we'll pass cross axis alignment dot start. So here it is. Now after that I need to add a plus button so that the user can upload a different recipes in this app. So I will move to the scaffold and will write floating action button. Floating action button. Now in the floating action button we'll pass a child and we'll write a not a text, we need an icon widget. So we'll write icons dot add. Yeah, something like this. And here you can see a plus icon, but if you want you can pass a different color to this icon according to your choice. So let's do one thing. Let's pass the background color to black. So I will simply write background color, will pass colors dot black, and we can change the icon color. So we'll write colors dot white, something like this. So here you can see that our home page is ready, and the user can search the recipe, can see the different categories, and can see the trending recipes that on the app. So you can add some more trending recipes or categories you want. And now let's move and we'll create a UI for the detail page where the user can see the recipe detail. So this is not just the UI we are making for the recipe app, as we are going to also connect the backend with a Firebase so that the user can upload the different recipes and can see the recipes. Now in the pages folder, I will simply create a new file name which will be recipe dot dart. Now we'll import the package by using material dot dart again. So I will write material dot dart stateful widget and we'll write recipe. Yeah. Now we'll write scaffold, body, container, child, column. So these are the three widgets that we usually write in all the Dart files. So we'll write it again. So here it is. So as I'm trying to bring a lots of series on this channel, so as you can see on the other YouTube channel where they make a Flutter videos, you will find that they start a app from the scratch, but they didn't complete and they simply leave that app and just move forward, and they just keep on making the UI. They don't connect with a Firebase, or they just don't make the app from the scratch. But I have thought that I will make a channel where I will make a complete app from the scratch, will complete that series and will bring a variety of apps. So this is a ninth app, or I think so 10th app in this channel. So please show your support by hitting that subscribe button, because I have found that many of viewers are loving our videos, but till now they haven't hit that subscribe button yet. Please, we need your support so that we can keep bringing this awesome Flutter series of the apps in this channel. So show your support by hitting that subscribe button and join the Flutter family, and let's add some more awesome apps to your app bucket list. Now let's move, and in the recipe page I will first write image dot asset and will write images. Now in the images, I'm going to do one thing, like I will get a image name pasta.jpg and will pass the width media query dot of context dot size dot width and the height. So I will simply pass the height up to 400 and fit boxfit.cover, something like this. Now after the image is shown, I want to do one thing. So let me show what I am writing the recipe page. So let's move to the main.dart file and we'll simply call the recipe page over here. So I will write recipe. So here you can see the image, but after this image, I want that there will be a container just over this image, which will be a curved container. Now to overlap one widget over the another, you already know that the use of stack widget. So I will simply do one thing. I will remove a column widget from here and will simply write a stack widget. So I will write stack, and in the stack I will just pass a container. So I will write container and will write decoration, box decoration, and will pass the color, which will be colors dot white. So I will simply pass colors dot white and media query for the width to use a complete width of the screen. So media query dot of context dot size dot width. So we need to pass a margin, because as you can see that container has took a complete height and width of the screen. So the image is just behind this container, so we need to pass a margin. So we'll write margin edge inset dot only from the top, and we can pass a margin by using media query, so that we can provide a responsive screen for this recipe page. So I will write media query dot of context dot size dot width divide by 2. We can do like 4, 1.5 or 1.1. Yeah, 1.1 will be good. Yeah. Now we need to make a curved container from the left and right position. So we need to pass a border radius, and through the border radius we can just make a container curve from the left and right position. So I will simply write border radius and will write border radius dot only and will pass from the top left position. So we'll write radius dot circular 30. So here you can see the curved container from the top left position, and we need to pass from the top right position too. So we'll write radius dot circular 30. So here it is, and here you can see the image and the container. Now if you want, you can pass some more border radius to this container according to your need. So here it is. Now here you can see the recipe name, not name, and image. Now after the image in this container, I want to pass a recipe name and a text that have been written by the user about the recipe, like how you can make this food item by following this recipe. In the container, you can simply pass a child and you can write column children. Now in the column widget, I am going to first write the recipe name, I mean the food recipe name that the user want to see. So I will simply write text. Now I will write red sauce pasta. pasta. Now we can use style app widget class again, and we can write dot bold text field style. So here you can see a red sauce pasta. Now we can provide some padding, and first we need to move the text to the right side. So you already know that we need to pass cross axis alignment dot start and the padding. So we'll write padding edge insert dot only, from the left 20.0, from the right 20.0, and from the top we can provide up to 40.0. So here it is, red sauce pasta, but if you want you can increase the font size. So we need to pass a specific text style again, because we don't have a styling in the app widget class form. 30.0 font weight dot bold. So here it is, and here you can see the our recipe name, which is food recipe name, which is red sauce pasta. Now after this I will show one divider over here. So I will simply write a divider just below this text widget. So I will write divider. Now after the divider I want to I will simply write a about recipe text. So I will write text widget again, and will write about recipe, and will again pass a styling. So we'll write app widget dot light text fill style. I think so, not light. We can provide bold text fill style. So here it is. Now we can provide some more space from the top by using size box. So I'll pass the size box height 10.0. Now here I will simply pass a red sauce pasta recipe. So I will don't type the recipe because I don't know how to make a red sauce pasta. I will just simply copy the recipe from the Google and paste it over here. Know how to code and how to eat a pasta. I don't know how to make a pasta, so I don't know the recipe. So I will simply paste from the Chrome. So here it is. I have added some random recipe from the Chrome. Sorry if it is wrong, but I don't know. I just pasted the recipe from the Chrome. I am thinking to add a add button. So when the user will tap to this add button, they will move to the page name add recipe.dart, and in the add recipe.dart they can upload the recipe image, the name, and the complete recipe, and that recipe will be directly uploaded to the Firestore database and will show that database in the user side of the app. So by this way, if the user want to upload any recipe, they can just click to this button and can keep on adding the recipe, and that recipe will be available for all the users who are using the app. So let's move, and first we'll move to the pages folder and we'll create a new file name which will be add recipe.dart, and we'll simply first import the package by using material.dart, and we'll write stateful widget name which will be add recipe. So I will write stateful widget name which will be add recipe. So here it is. Now I will simply write scaffold body container child column children. Yeah. So here it is. Now after this I will simply make an, you can say, a app bar or a page that will highlight the feature that present on that page. So I will simply write add recipe in the top of the page. So I will simply pass a text widget and will write add recipe, and will again pass the styling by using the app widget class. So I will simply write app widget dot bold text field style, bold field text style. Yeah. So let's move to the recipe page, add recipe page, so that I can show you what all things I am writing in the add recipe.dart file. So here you can see the add recipe text. Now we can do one thing, we can pass a margin. So we'll write margin edge insert dot only, from the top maybe 50.0, from the left 20.0, and from the right 20.0, something like this. So as you can see that the styling that we have passed in the add recipe, the text look really small because this is a main headline of this page. So if you want you can increase the text size, but we don't have any text font which has much bigger size in the support widget.dart. So I will do one thing. I will use a text style and will pass the font size. So I will write text style, will pass the font size which will be 25.0 and font weight dot bold. Now I need to center this text, so I will simply wrap up with a row widget and will write main axis alignment dot center, and it will simply center my this text. Now after the add recipe text, I want to show a container so that the user can upload the recipe image. So let's move, and in the column widget I will simply write a container and will write the width maybe 200 and the height 200. So we'll pass the height 200, and now we'll write decoration, box decoration. Now we'll pass a color which will be colors dot white. Now in the decoration I need to pass a border radius too, so I will simply write border radius dot circular, and will pass the circular radius 20. So here it is. Now we need to pass a child and we'll pass a icon which will be camera icon. So I will write icons dot camera alt outline. So here you can see the icon which is a camera icon. So I need to pass a border so that I can see the container easily. So I will simply pass a border which will be border dot all. So here you can see the border and the container. Now we can pass a height from the top. So I will simply use a size box and will pass the size box height 20.0. So here it is, and here you can see the text, not a text, a container, so that the user can upload the image. And when the user will tap to this camera icon, they will redirect to a gallery from where they can pick the image, and that image will be directly uploaded to the Firebase storage. So if you have followed my other series like e-commerce app or chat app, quiz app, because we have till now made 8 apps, or I think so 9 apps on this channel. So if you are a new viewer, I will recommend you to please follow that series, because by following that series you can get to know lots of things regarding the Flutter and Firebase. So we have already added the image function many times before in our Flutter apps. So if you are the new viewer, then don't worry, I will show you each step. But if you have already followed my some of the series, then you already know that use of image picker and Firebase storage and how to upload the image. So it will be very easy if you are following my old series. So I will highly recommend you to please follow my series like chat app and e-commerce app, or there are lots of app. So you can follow that series and get to know lots of things regarding the Flutter and Firebase. Also, I want to tell you that now after the container, I will simply write a text widget, and inside the text widget, I will just write a recipe name. So I will write recipe name. So in the recipe name, the user can enter the recipe name in the text field. So I'm going to create a text field just below this text. So I will first pass the styling by using the app widget class again. So we'll write bold text field style. Now it is recipe name. So now I want to move this text to the left side. So you already know that we need to pass a cross axis in the column widget. So we'll write cross axis alignment dot start, and we need to center this container. I don't want the container to move to the left side of the screen. So here it is. Now I want to provide the height between the container and the text. So I will pass the size box height 20.0. Now after this I need to create a text field. So I will simply do one thing. I will first write a container. Now in the container I will pass a width which will be media query dot of context dot size dot width, so that it can take a complete width of the screen. Now I will pass a decoration, box decoration, and will pass a color which will be colors dot white. And we can do a one thing, we can pass a child, we can pass a text field. Now here you can see the container with a text field widget, but here you can see the line in the text field. Now to remove this line, you need to just write a decoration input decoration border input border dot none, and it will simply remove this line from this text field. Now we can provide the border radius to this container so that I can see this text field clearly. So I will write border.all border.all, yeah, and we can provide the border radius to this container. So we'll write border radius dot circular 20. So here it is, and here you can see the text field. Now we can also pass a hint text to this text field. So I will just write hint text, and in the hint text I will pass the hint text like write a recipe write a recipe name, and we can pass a padding too. So I will simply write a padding edge insert dot only left 10.0. So here the user can simply enter a recipe name. For an example, red sauce pasta, red sauce pasta. Yeah, and we need to provide a space between the text and the text field. So I will simply use a size box height 10.0. Now I want to tell you that many of the viewers are loving our videos but haven't hit that subscribe button till now. I have a small request from you all. Please show your support by hitting that subscribe button, because your support is very necessary for us to keep going and bring some more awesome series to this channel. So hit that subscribe button and show your support and become a part of our Flutter family. Now after this, I will simply copy the size box and the container again, and I'm passing the text field again so that the user can enter a recipe detail like how that food can be made by following this recipe. So I will write recipe detail, so recipe details, and we'll write a recipe detail. In the recipe detail, there would be a chance that the recipe detail will not be a just one line. So we need to pass a max line in our text field. So we'll simply write a max lines up to max lines up to 8. So if you want, you can also increase a max line according to your wish. Like if you want a 10 line of the maximum lines that the user can write in the recipe detail, so it's up to your choice. Now after the user have wrote a complete recipe detail name and upload the image from their gallery, I want to simply upload this data to the firestore. Now we need to create a button name save so that the user can click to this button and can directly upload to the data to the firestore database. Now in the column I will simply write a container, will create a with media query dot of context dot size dot width. Now in the container I will simply pass a child and will write text widget and will write the text name save. Now we'll pass a styling by using the text style. Now we'll pass a color which will be colors dot white, font size maybe 20.0. So we can pass a black color to this container. So I will simply write box decoration colors dot black, something like this. Now we can do one thing, we can provide the text in the bold form. So I will simply write font weight dot bold, and we can center this text by using a center widget, and we can provide the height. So I will simply pass a size box height maybe 30.0. So if you are facing any problem regarding like how to add the widgets in the Flutter app or anything regarding the backend or front end, you can ping me on my Instagram ID, or you can directly write your problem in the comment box. Though in the Instagram I am usually active, so I can give you a quick reply in my Instagram ID so that you can fix the error quickly and can move with your Flutter app. So you can find my Instagram ID in my description box. So you can just go and can DM me if you are facing any error. Now let's move, and we'll first pass an padding which will be edge insert dot only from the top, which will be 10.0, and from the bottom and 10.0. So here it is. Now we need to pass a border radius to this container. So I will do one thing, in the box decoration I will simply write border radius border radius dot circular 20. So here it is. Now here you can see the container with a text name save. Now let's move, and first we'll connect a Firebase with our Flutter app so that I can simply upload this data to the Firestore, and then we'll add a complete backend for this add recipe page. So let's move to the Firebase, and here first you need to enter a project name. So I will simply write recipe app and we'll click on continue button. Now again on continue. Now select default account for Firebase, create project. So as you can see that Firebase is creating a project. So wait for a few seconds. Now click on continue. Now we'll directly move to the dashboard of our Firebase, and here you can see that we can connect a Apple, which is iOS, and a Android device with a Firebase. So let's move, and we'll first connect it with a iOS, I mean an Apple device, then we'll move with a Android device. So here you can see that we need a Apple bundle ID. So let's move to the X code, and we need to copy the bundle identifier from there and we'll paste it over here. So let's open X code. So here it is. Now we'll move to the runner. Now let's move to the signing and capabilities. Now we'll copy this bundle identifier from here and we'll paste it over here. Now click on register app. Now wait for a few seconds. Now download the Google service info.plist file from here, and after downloading this file you will get a file over here, and here you can see the Google service info.plist file. Now make sure that it should be exact what it is wrote here. It didn't wrote anything rather than this, and if you have any older Google service info.plist file, then you simply remove that file and just rename that file to exact file name that have been shown there. Now we'll paste this file just below the info and we'll click on finish. So here it is done. Now click on next, 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 continue to the console. So as you can see that we have successfully added the iOS app here, and in just a few seconds, or I think so in minutes, we have added the iOS app. And let's close this Xcode. But I have one more thing, like if you want to run the app in your iOS emulator, just move to the runner and info.plist, not info.plist, we need to move to the pod file. I will show you the pod file. The reason it is not showing because we didn't add any packages from the Pub.dev. So first we need to add some packages in the pub.ml file, and we need to run that package, and after running that package here it will show a pod file. So don't think so why the pod file is not showing in the iOS folder. It will show when you will add some package in the pub.ml file. So before we add packages in the pub.ml file, let's move to the Firebase, and we need to add the Android device with Firebase. So we need to write a Android package name. So let's move to the Android app build.gradle file, and we need to copy this application ID, and we'll copy this application ID and we'll paste it over here. Now click on register app and wait for a few seconds. Now download the Google that services.json file again, and make sure that it should be again exact what the file name has been wrote here. Now here you can see that it has wrote google-services1.json, but make sure that it should be exact this file name, otherwise it will simply throw the error and you can't connect the Android app with your Firebase. So I just need to delete the older file if I have in my download folder, and will simply rename the file name to exact file name, which is google-services.json, and will simply paste it in the Android app folder. So here it is. Now after that we'll click on next, and we need to copy this plugin, and we'll move to the build.gradle and just move over here, and we need to paste it in the class path. So I will paste it in the class path, and do not skip any of the process while I'm connecting the app with Android app, because each and every process will be necessary for you to connect the Android app with a Firebase successfully. Now, do not miss any of the colon or dot while passing the plugin in the class path. Now, we need to also pass a colon after the GMS, and here it is. Now there would be a chance that many of the viewers who are watching this recipe app can comment in this video that I can't connect the Android app with a Firebase, I am facing lots of error. So there might be a reason that the viewers who are trying to connect the Android app with a Firebase, they would face a problem and they will directly comment in this video that I am facing the error that I cannot connect it with a Firebase. There would be a reason because every week or every month Flutter new version usually come, and according to the different Kotlin version you can face a different errors while connecting the app with a Firebase. Now to fix all that errors one by one, I have already shown you if you are facing any type of errors regarding connecting the Android app with a Firebase in the Barber app series. So you can follow that Barber app. I will try to paste a link in the comment box or in description box. You can follow that Barber app series where I have shown you what a problem you can face while connecting the Firebase with Android app, and you can follow that steps and can simply run the app successfully in your Flutter app. Now after that we need to also add this Google Services plugin. So we'll move to the build.gradle Android app build.gradle file and we need to paste it over here. So I will simply paste it in the apply plugin. So we need to copy this first, and sorry, we need to paste it over here, something like this. And we need to also copy this dependencies and we need to paste it over here and something like this. So here it is. Now we'll click on next, continue to the console. So as you can see that we have successfully added the Android app and the iOS app. Now we can upload the data to the Firestore database, or we can simply upload the images or anything to the Firebase storage. Now let's move to the build section and we need to enable some rules from the Firestore database so that there will be no obstruction while uploading the data to the Firestore. Now click on create database, click on next, click on create button. So as you can see, Firestore is setting up some security rules, so wait for a few seconds. Now let's move to the rules and we need to change the rules from false to true so that we can easily upload the data to the Firestore. Now click on publish. So here it is done. So we have successfully changed the rules in the Firestore database. Now let's move to the Firebase storage and we need to do the same changes so that I can upload the images. Now click on done. So here you can see that it is creating a default bucket. Now move to the rules again and we need to also change from false to true. Click on publish. So here it is done. And if you are seeing that there is some security rules error, then do not need to worry. No one going to steal our data because it's completely secure. It's just showing that we didn't add authentication in this Flutter app and we are just trying to upload the data to the Firestore. That's why it is telling that the user can steal our data, but none of the user can steal the data from the Firestore database. So here it is. Now after that, let's move to the Pub.dev. So we need to add a package name which is Cloud Firestore. I will simply search a package name which is Cloud Firestore and we'll move to the packages, move to the installing and we'll copy this package and we'll move to the perspecaml and we'll paste it over here, something like this. So our second package will be Firebase core so that we can successfully connect the Firebase with our Flutter app. So I'll copy this package and we'll paste it over here. So our second package will be Firebase storage, not second, it is third. So move to the installing again, copy this package and will paste it over here. And our fourth package will be image picker. Copy this package again and will paste it over here. So these are the four packages I'm going to use for now. I think so there will be need of one more package name which will be random string, so that we can provide a random string to the images that we upload to the Firebase storage. So we'll copy this package and we'll paste it over here again. So if you are facing any version error that I was telling about, because there would be a chance that you might be using a old version of an Flutter, which is not any thing to worry, because the old version of Flutter will also act successfully to run the app in your Android device. But we need to just remove this exact package version so that it can take a version according to the version of Flutter we are using. Now let's run the packages. So as you can see, Flutter Pub get running. So here it is done, and we have successfully run all the packages, and you can simply remove a version. Now it can take any version according to the Flutter version you are using. So let's move to the add recipe.dart page again, and here first I need to do one thing, like I need to add a text editing controller so that I can handle a text like when the user will enter a recipe name and the recipe detail. So I will write text editing controller name controller equals to new text editing controller, and we'll do same for the detail. So I will simply change our controller name to detail. So here it is. Now we need to create a main function which is an image picker, so that we can pick the image and can upload the image, and we'll add the complete backend for our add recipe page. Now here first I need to pick the image from the phone gallery. So I will write final image picker, image picker, not like this. We'll write image picker picker equals to pick image. So I will write picker is equals to image picker, something like this. We need to call a function image picker over here. Now after this I will write a function name get image that will be called when the user will tap to this camera icon. So I will simply write a future and will write get image function name, and will write async. Now we'll write var image equals to await, and we'll write picker dot pick image, and in the source I will simply write image source dot gallery. Now if you want, you can also choose a camera so that the user can directly click the picture from their phone camera and directly upload the image to the Firebase storage. Now in the image source I will simply write image source dot gallery. Now I will write selected image. So I need to create a file name which will be a selected image, so that I can store a selected picture from my phone gallery to the file name selected image. Now let's call this dart.io and we'll pass null check character, and we'll simply write selected image is equals to file image dot path, something like this, and we'll again pass null check character. Now set state, and we'll call this get image function as I've told you in this container. So I will simply wrap up with a gesture detector. So I will wrap up with a gesture detector, and in the on tap function I will call a function name which will be get image. So here it is. Now if the image will be picked from the phone gallery, then I want to show the picked image over here. So I will do one thing, like if selected image is not equals to null, I mean the image has been picked from the phone gallery, then I want to show the picked image in this container. So I will simply copy this and will paste it over here, and will do some changes, like we need to remove this icon and will pass image.file and our file name, which is selected image. So here it is. Now fit box fit.cover, and we need to also pass a circular radius to our image. So we'll wrap up with a clip react widget, and we'll write border radius dot circular 10. So here it is. Now let's hot reload this file, and when I'll tap to this icon, but if you are using the iOS emulator or any iPhone device to run the Flutter app, then you need to add some of the command in info.plist file so that you can pick the image from the phone gallery. But if you are using the Android, you don't need to add any extra function in any of the recommended Android folder. So let's move to the info.plist file, and we'll add some function in the info.plist file. So basically these are the three commands that we need to add to upload the image in the Firebase storage, because these all three commands are very necessary to give the instruction to the Flutter app to pick the image from the phone gallery. Now after this, I will move to the our file again, which is add recipe.dart file, and here I will simply do one thing, like I will call not I will call I will write a text editing controller, but I have already wrote a text editing controller to handle the text that the user enter on this name text field and the recipe text field. So we need to pass these two controllers in the respective text field. So I will simply write controller name controller and one for the recipe. So I will write controller recipe controller. I think so, detail controller. Yeah. So I will simply write detail controller. Now I want to write a function name which is upload item. So I will write upload item function name, and will write async. Now if the selected image is not equals to null, and the user have entered must enter this both to text field. So I will simply pass name controller dot text should not be equals to null, and same for the detail controller. So I will write detail controller dot text should not be equals to null, something like this. Now I will simply write a string name add id equals to random alpha numeric 10. Now the reason for passing the 10 random character to the add id string is because as I want to upload the image to the Firebase storage, so I need to give the unique user id, or you can say a unique id to the each image that upload in the Firebase storage. Now I will simply write a reference. Now in the reference I will simply write Firebase storage ref equals to Firebase storage dot instance dot ref dot child, and will simply write a child name which is block image dot child add id, something like this. Now I will simply write final upload task yeah, task equals to Firebase storage ref, wait a second, Firebase storage dot ref. Now you might be thinking that why I've used a Firebase storage dot instance dot block image. Now blog image is a folder name that will be created in the Firebase storage, and in this blog image folder, by the unique ID will going to upload one image after the another. Now, if you have followed my other series like chat app, to do app, or you can say e-commerce app, or any other app like barber app, quiz app, then you already know the use of Firebase storage and how to upload the image to the Firebase storage. So if you want to learn lots of things regarding the Flutter and Firebase, you can follow that tutorials, because that is a complete app that we have made from the scratch, and this is a ninth app on this channel. So we have already made 8 apps on this channel. So by following this course, you can add some more apps to your app bucket list. Now I will simply write Firebase storage ref dot put file. Now we'll pass a selected image, and now I can simply write var download URL equals to await task dot ref dot get download URL, something like this. Now I'll simply create a map string dynamic, and we'll write a function name, I mean the map name, which is add recipe, and in this map string I will simply pass a name which will be the our recipe name. So I will write name, and in the name I will simply write name controller.text, the text that the user will enter on this text field, and we'll do same for the detail. So I will write detail, or you can write detail controller.text. Now we need to also pass an image. So I will write image and the download URL. And in the download URL, you will get a link of the image that has been uploaded to the Firebase storage. And through this link, you can upload this link to the Firebase Firestore and can handle this image beautifully. Now let's move, and we'll move to the lib folder, and we'll create a new folder named services. And in the services folder, we are going to create a new file name which will be database.dart. And inside the database.dart, I will simply create a class name which is database methods. So I will write database methods, something like this. Now I will write future, and will write a function name which is add recipe, and in this function I'm going to first pass a map. So I will write map string dynamic, and will pass a map name which will be add recipe, and we are going to return Firebase Firestore, but we need to also pass an async await so that I can wait for the function. It is called completely. So I will write Firebase Firestore dot instance dot collection, and will pass the collection name which will be recipe dot add, and will pass our map name which is add recipe. So we'll pass add recipe. So here it is. We have wrote a function to upload the data to the Firebase Firestore. Now let's pass this in the upload item function. So I will simply write database methods dot add recipe, and here it is. And once the function is called completely, I will simply do one thing. I will simply mark this recipe name and recipe detail to blank, so that the user want to upload the second recipe, then they can frequently upload the second recipe without removing a complete text that the user have wrote on this to text field. So I will simply pass a name controller dot text is equals to space, and same for the detail. So I will write detail controller dot text should be also equals to space, and will make the selected image equals to null. So here it is. Now let's check, but before that we need to call a upload item function in our save button. So I will wrap up with a gesture detector, and in the on tap method I will simply call a function name which is upload item. So when I click to this camera icon, you will see that we can successfully pick the image from the gallery. So I will randomly pick one image, and here it is. Now I will just add some recipe name. So for an example, I will add food recipe, and you can write some recipe detail. I think so I will write a complete food recipe. So I'm just showing the example like how the details will be uploaded to the Firestore. So when I click to this save button, there is some error. So let me check what error we are facing. So it is telling no Firebase app authorization. So I think so we have forgot to add two lines in our main.dart file. So do not forget to add these two lines, though I have forgot to add. So these are the two main line, otherwise you will face the exact error that I have shown you now. So I will write widgets flutter binding dot ensure initialized and firebase dot initialize app, something like this, and we need to just write await over here, something like this, firebase, yeah. So here it is. Now let's hot restart the app again, and I will again select the image. I will just write recipe name and a recipe detail. So I will write a complete food recipe, and will click to this save button again. So here you can see that data has been uploaded successfully in the Firestore. So now let's check, and we'll simply refresh this page. And here you can see the recipe collection with our document ID and the detail that we have just uploaded from the Firebase. Now I will show you that there is a link that has been shown in the image field. So I will simply look up to this link, and here you will see that the exact image that we have uploaded from the our iPhone device. So it is working brilliantly, and you can see that how the data is been uploaded to the Firestore database. Now one more thing we can do that. For an example, when you will click to the save button and you want that the user can get to know like the data has been uploaded to the Firestore or not, you can simply do one thing. We can pass a snack bar, or you can say a toast message. So let's move to the Pub.dev, and we'll copy a Flutter toast package from the Pub.dev, and we'll copy to the perspec.ml file. So here it is a Flutter toast package. Move to the installing and copy this package, and we'll paste it in the perspec.ml file. Now run the package. So if you are facing any version error, then you know that just remove the version and rerun the file again. So here it is. Now after that, we just move to the readme section, and we need to copy this code, and we'll paste it something over here, and we'll just call a flutter toast package, and we'll just change the message that recipe has been added successfully, something like this. Now let's check the app again. Now again I'll select the random image. Again I will write same recipe name, and I will write complete details. Now click to the save button again, and here you can see that data has been uploaded successfully to the Firestore database, but you can't see the toast message because there it is showing a missing plugin error. Now when you see any missing plugin error, this is because when you add any new package to the perspec.ml file, then if that package haven't run in the Flutter app, then you will find that missing plugin error. So this is just a small error. You just need to rerun the app again. So let me rerun the complete app again, then I will show you the magic of Flutter Toast. So our app has launched successfully. Now I'll again click to this icon and will again upload the random image and the name and the recipe details. Yeah, so we again write recipe details. Now click to the save button again. So here you can see the toast message, recipe has been added successfully. Though the length of the toast message was short, like it was for a short time period, but if you want, you can increase the length by just using toast dot length long, and it will simply increase the time duration of that toast message. So here it is, and we can upload as many recipe we want in the Firebase Firestore. Here you can see that there is a some categories like soup recipes, main course, Indian recipes, and Chinese recipes. So these are the four categories that I have shown in the user side of the app. Now if we are adding the recipe from the add recipe.dart page, I want that when the user will tap to this soup recipe, then it will show all the soup recipes in this category. So we need to also select the category from the add recipe page while uploading the recipe to the respective category, and through the category will show the all recipes when the user will tap to any of the categories here in the user side of the app. So let's move to the add recipe page, and here you can see the image, name and the detail. But I will do one thing, like just below the name I will add one more section where the user can select the category that I have just shown in the user side of the app. Now let's move to the add recipe.dart page, and we'll create a drop down over here so that the user can select the respective category and can upload the recipe. So first we need to create a string which name will be value, and in this string value will keep like which category that the user have selected by using the drop down. Now we'll create a final and we'll create a list, and in this list we are going to show all the categories name, so that will be in the form of the string. So I will simply write string and will just write this list name which will be recipe. Yeah, so now we can do one thing, like we can paste all the recipe categories. Now let's move to the home.dart, and here I will look what all categories I need to add in that list. So first one is soup recipes. So I'll copy this string and will paste it over here. Now second was I think so main course. So yeah, so copy this and will paste it again. Something like this. Third was, what was third? Indian recipes. So I'll copy this Indian recipes string and we'll again paste it to the same list. And last one was I think so Italian, no, Chinese recipes. So we'll copy this and we'll paste it again over here. So these are the four categories that I'm going to show in the add recipe.dart page, and while uploading the recipe the user can select any of the recipe category and can upload the recipe in that category. So if you want, you can add some more categories in this recipe list. This is the four choices that I have shown in the user side. That's why I have added only four category over here. Now let's move, and as I've told you, just below this name text field I'm going to show that category. So here is the name text field. Now just below the size box I will simply pass a container and will pass a padding edge insert dot, and will write dot symmetric. So I will write dot symmetric horizontal 10.0. Now after this we need to provide the width media query dot of context dot size dot width, so that it can take a complete width of the screen. Now decoration, box decoration, and in the box decoration we are going to pass the color which will be colors dot white, and again the border radius up to circular 10. So I will write border radius dot circular 10, something like this. So here it is. Now after this, we need to pass a child in the container, and we'll just pass a drop down button. Now in the drop down button there is a string, so I'll simply pass a string. Now I will pass the items. Now in the items, as our list name is recipe, so I will simply write recipe dot map, and we'll pass the map, and in the we'll pass item, and we can pass the child over here. Wait a second, no, not over here. We need to pass a drop down menu item, I think so. Yeah, drop down menu item. Now in the child, we'll pass a text, and in the text we are going to show the selected item. So I will write item, not a selected item. In this item we are going to show all the strings that present in the recipe list. So we are using the text widget. Now we'll write item style. Now we'll pass a text style. So I will simply write text style, and we'll again pass the font size 18.0 and colors dot black, something like this, dot black. Now in the drop down item menu item, we need to also pass a value so that we can show what all values that will be shown in the drop down container. So we need to also pass dot to list. So I will simply move and will pass dot to list, I think so, over here. Yeah, now here it is one error. Let's fix what really this error is. So we need to pass on change after this list. So I will simply do one thing, we'll pass on changed, and in the on change we'll pass a value that have been selected by the user, and we need to pass that selected value in the string that we have just mentioned above, which is value. So we'll write this dot value is equals to value, something like this. So here it is. Now we can pass this. Yeah, so we can also pass a drop down color. So we'll simply pass a drop down color, which will be colors dot white. Now after this we need to also pass a hint. So there will be a container, or you can see a something like text field will be shown, where it will show the hint like what the user need to do while tapping through this container. So we'll pass just a hint like select category, and we can also pass the icon size up to 36, and 36 icon size up to 36, and the icon, which will be icons dot arrow drop down. Yeah, and the color, which will be colors dot black, something like this. Yeah, so here you can see the category, but you can see also see the overflow error. Now to skip this overflow error, you already know that we need to wrap up the container with a widget name single child scroll view, something like this. Now after this we need to also pass a spacing between the drop down and the recipe detail. So I will simply pass a size box, and will pass the size box height up to 20.0, something like this. Now here you can see that in the drop down there is some line. Now if you want to remove this line, you just need to wrap up the drop down button with a widget name, which will be drop button hide underline, and it will simply remove the underline from here. Now if you want, you can also provide the border radius so that you can easily see this drop down button. Now we'll pass border, which will be border dot all, and here it is. Now you can also provide the border radius so that it will match with a text field that we have just mentioned above. So I will do one thing, we need to pass 20. So I will simply pass the border radius circular up to 20. Yeah, here it is. Now we'll click on it, and you can see a different categories that we have just uploaded in the list name recipe string. So if I'll select the soup recipe, then you can see that it till now didn't select it because I think so we have made one mistake. The most important thing to change the value will be like we have forgot to pass a value. So sometimes I also make a mistake or forget to add the things, but you didn't follow to add a value, otherwise you can't get the result. So here you can see the soup recipes, main course, and the Chinese recipes. So here it is, and you can now upload the recipe to that respective category while selecting it from the drop down menu button. Now let me add some recipes in the Firebase so that I can use that recipes in the user side of the app. So I have added some of the recipes in the Firebase. Now I'm going to show all the recipes in the home page of the app. Now to show all the recipe, we need a stream builder because stream builder will help us to show these recipes in the home page, and that recipes that are in the home page are the trending recipes as you can see here. So there will be an also a category that I have explained you in the first part. So like when the user will tap to the main course, then it will going to show all the recipes regarding the main course category. So let's first move with a trending recipes and add some recipes, or you can say let's call the recipes from the firestore database. So to call this, let's write a stream builder, and for that we need to create a stream, and we'll simply write a stream name which will be recipe stream. Now we need to pass a function name that will be shown where we want to show this list view of these recipes. So we'll write a function name. So we'll first write an widget, and we'll write a function name which will be all recipe. Now, and we'll write return stream builder. Now in the stream builder we'll pass a stream first. So first I need to pass a stream which is a recipe stream, and in the builder we need to pass a context, async snapshot, async snapshot, snapshot. Now the snapshot will help us to get documents that present in that respective collection recipe that I have shown you in the first part. So in that recipe collection we are going to call all the documents, and that will be stored in the snapshot, and through the index we are going to handle one document after the another. Now in the async snapshot we need to return snapshot dot has data, and we need to first check that if the data is present in the respective collection or not. So if the data will be present, then we are going to show the list view. If not, then we are going to show just a container. So I will simply write list view dot builder. Now I will pass an context. Now we'll pass an index. After this we need to pass an container. So I'll simply pass a container. Now in the index, as I have told you that we need to return a context index. Now we can pass a padding. So we'll simply write padding edge inset dot 0, and then we need to pass an item count. So I will pass item count snapshot dot data dot docs dot length, something like this. Now we need to also pass a scroll direction which will be axis dot horizontal. So I will write axis dot horizontal. Yeah. Now after this we need to return a container and the name. So we'll simply move down and we'll just copy this cheeseburger, yeah, container. We'll cut this and we'll paste it over here, something like this. So here it is, and here you can see the container. Now let's move to the Firebase, and here you can see a recipe collection, and I have added a 3 documents in the recipe collection. So first document is detail, image and the name. So in the detail we are going to show the recipe detail. The image, as you can see, I am talking about this burger image, and the name which is cheeseburger. So I'm going to show this detail in this trending recipe list view, and we need a image. So I will simply write image.network. Now our field name is ds image, which is an image field name. So I will simply write ds and will write exact field name, which is image. Now we need to pass a document snapshot so that I can get the index. So I will simply pass a document snapshot, ds equals to snapshot dot data dot docs, and we need to pass an index. So we'll simply write index. Now here we can pass image, and we need to pass a recipe name. So I will simply write ds, and here we'll call name field. So I will simply write exact field name, which is name. So here it is done. Now we need to call the recipe stream. So we need a query snapshot function. So basically query snapshot will help us to get all the documents that present in the respective collection. So here I will write future. Now again, as I have told, we need a query snapshot. So I will write query snapshot. Now in the query snapshot we need to pass a collection name, which is our recipe, which I have shown you. Now we need to write a function name. So I will write get all recipe. Now after this we need to pass an async, and we'll pass return await firebase firestore dot instance dot collection, and we need to pass a collection name, which is recipe. So I will simply pass a collection name recipe dot get, and it will simply get all the documents that present in the respective collection name recipe over here. So after that I need to do one thing. We need to move to the home.dart page again, and here I need to pass like this. So I will write get on the load, and will write async recipe stream is equals to await database methods dot get all recipe, and we'll simply get all the recipes in our recipe stream. So the error we are facing is because I forgot to pass a stream in this function named get all recipe. Because we are just passing a query snapshot, we need to also pass a stream. So I will simply pass a stream over here, and we can fix that error. And in place of dot get, we need to pass dot snapshot, something like this. So here you can see that by making these changes we have successfully fixed the error, and now we can get all the recipe in the recipe stream. Now we need to pass a set state. Now in the init state I need to pass a function name get on the load. Now here it is. So once the get all recipe function gets the data from the Firebase and store in the recipe stream, we need to show that data in the home page. So we need to call this all recipe function in a column widget. So I will move and will simply remove this expanded widget. Yeah, and we need to call all recipe function over here. So let's hot restart it, and there is some render view problem. Yeah, so here it is, and here you can see the three documents that have been called from the Firebase, and you can see that these documents have been added in the recipe collection. Now we need to provide the space from the right position. So as you can see that each recipe have got stuck with each other. Now I need to just do one thing. I need to pass a margin as insert dot only from the right, maybe 20.0. So here it is, and here you can see the different recipes. Now I want that when I'll tap to this recipe, I can move to the recipe.dart page and can get to know how this cheeseburger can be made. So we can pass a string, and in the string I will simply pass an image, and after the image I can simply pass a food name and the recipe. So I will pass image, we can pass food name and the recipe, something like this, and we need to call this. So I will simply pass recipe, this dot food name, this dot image, and this dot recipe. Now let's pass required function in each case so that it can get all the details. Now after this we can pass image dot network, and we can simply pass an image. So I will simply pass the image, something like this. So we need to pass widget dot image. Now we need to pass widget dot food name and widget dot recipe. So I'll simply write widget dot recipe, is something like this. So here you can see that now we need to push the user to the recipe.dart page. So let's pass navigator function. So I'll simply wrap up with a gesture detector. Yeah, over here. Now we need to wrap up with a gesture detector, and in the on tap method I will simply pass navigator dot push material page route, material page route context, and we need to push the user to the recipe page. So I will write recipe, yeah, something like this, and we need to pass a food name. So I will write ds, and our field name is just name. So I will write name, the image. So I'll write ds image and the recipe. So we need to pass a recipe detail. So our field name is details. So I will write simply write details over here. So make sure when you are writing the field name, this should be exact what you have wrote in the Firebase, because if there will be any mismatch when you are writing the field name, then you can't pass the respective field detail and it will simply throw the error. Now let's tap to this recipe, and here you can see that details does not exist. So I think so we have made some spelling problem. So let's check to the Firebase. So let's move to the Firebase. So as I was telling you that the field name should be exact. So here you can see that we have wrote details, and here it is wrote just detail. So you can see that by just adding an s, we can simply get an error that it can't read a field name. So we need to change details to detail, and let's hot restart it again, and we'll tap to this, and here you can see the our recipe image with a recipe name, and this is a small recipe that I have added for the cheeseburger. So here you can see that this is detail field that have been just shown in the app. So it is working brilliantly. So if you have watched my old series like chat app, e-commerce app, food delivery app, then you already know the use of search bar because we have already added the search bar in that series. And if you haven't followed that series, then I will highly recommend you to please follow that series, because through that series you are going to learn lots of things regarding the Flutter and Firebase. Now let's move, and first we are going to add the backend for this categories. So as you know that we have created a add recipe.dart page, and we are allowing the user to select a category, and while selecting the category they can simply upload the recipe to that category. Now we are not uploading the selected category that the user select while uploading the recipe, so we need to just pass a category so that we can use this detail and can show all the different recipes according to the categories that have been shown here. So I will simply pass value something like this. So here it is done. Now let's move to the Firebase, and here you can see the category which is main course. So it is indicating that when we'll tap to this main course category, then we are going to show this recipe in this category. So by this way we can handle this different categories and can show the recipe according to that. And now let's move and add the backend for this different categories have been shown in the home page. Now in the pages folder I will create a new file and will simply write category dot dart, and first we are going to import a material package. Now we'll write stateful widget name category recipe, and we can simply pass a scaffold body container child column, yeah, children, something like this. Now we need to pass a text over here. So to pass the text which will suggest that in the category recipe, for an example, if I will tap to the soup recipes, then our headline at the top will be shown like soup recipes, and all the recipes just below this headline name soup recipes. So to hide this headline, let's move to the home page, and I will first copy this text widget and will paste it over here, something like this. Now we need to just change it to like soup recipes, yeah. So it will not be fixed, like it will only show a soup recipe, because so when the user will tap to Indian recipes, then we are going to change it to Indian recipe. So we need to keep a track like which category have been selected by the user. So we'll pass a string, and in the string I need to pass a category so that we can get to know like which category that user have selected, and we'll just pass this dot category and just pass required, yeah, and we'll simply pass widget dot category, and through this we don't need to write a specific category name. It will simply show which category that the user have selected. Now after this we need to just center it with a center widget, and we can pass a margin. So I will write edge inset dot only from the top, maybe 50.0, yeah. So let's push the user to this category page while tapping to any of the categories. So let's move to the home.dart page again, and here wrap up with a widget will pass a gesture detector. In the on tap method I will simply pass navigator dot push, and we need to push the user, so I will simply pass material page root. Now we'll pass context After this, we need to push the user to category.dart page. So I will write category, wait a second, category recipe, yeah, and we'll pass soup recipes, which is our category name. So when I'll tap to this soup recipes, here you can see the main headline of this category dot page is soup recipes, and now we can show all the recipes regarding the soup recipes. Let's pass same for the main course. Wrap with widget, gesture director, in on tap method, need to pass main course. Main course. Yeah. So here it is. Now let's move to the category.dart page again. Now I am thinking that we'll use a grid view and we'll just show our two recipes in the horizontal direction, and then the user can scroll and can see all the recipes, which will give a better experience for this category.dart page. Now to use a grid view, first we need to create a stream again. So I will simply pass a stream. Now we can pass category stream. Now let's move and we need to create a function for the category that the user have selected. So I will simply copy this function and will paste it over here and will write get category recipe, and will simply pass a string which will be category, and will just pass a category that the user have selected, and will write dot where. And as I've told you that there is a category field, and we need to just match like which category that the user have selected, and according to that we are going to show the recipe. So we'll simply pass that dot where category is equal to category, and will simply match that category and will show the recipes according to that. Now we'll simply write a function name get on the load async await. We need to pass, yeah. So category stream equals to await database methods dot, and we'll pass get category recipe, and we need to pass a category. So we'll simply write widget dot category and just a set state. Now in the init state we need to call get on the load. Yeah, so here it is done. Now we need to write a main function to show the grid view. So I will write widget all. Let's write a function name all recipe, and we need to pass return, and we'll again use a stream builder, and in the builder we can pass a context. So we'll write context async snapshot snapshot snapshot, yeah, something like this. Now we can pass a return snapshot dot has data, and first we'll check the data, and if the data will be present then we'll show the grid view dot builder. So in place of list view we are using just grid view dot builder. As I've told you, I want to show the two recipes in the horizontal direction. Now in the grid delegate I will simply pass sliver grid delegate axis count. In the cross axis count I need to show two container, so I will simply write 2. Now child aspect ratio should be 0.6. main axis spacing I am passing 10.0 and cross axis spacing 10.0. Main will be something like this: main axis spacing and cross axis spacing. Now we need to pass a padding, so I will write padding edge inset dot 0, and in the item count will write snapshot dot data. So we'll write data dot docs dot length, and in the item builder we can pass a context. So we'll write context index. We'll write document snapshot ds equals to snapshot dot data dot docs, and we'll pass index. Yeah, don't forget to pass a stream, so I will write stream and our category stream. Now we need to return a container, so I will simply write return and a container. So let's move to the home.dart, and we just need to copy this gesture detector and we'll paste it over in category.dart. Yeah, something like this. Now let's pass this all recipe, and we'll just wrap up with expanded widget so that it can take a maximum spacing. And just call this recipe.dart page here again, and we just hot restart the app. Now I'll tap to this main course. So here you can see the recipes that have been shown from the store firestore database. Now you can do one thing: you can simply remove this fixed height on width, and it is too small. Maybe we can increase the height up to 200, and we can just pass some spacing. So we'll write from the left 20.0. Remove this one because there is already spacing given, so we just need to pass the spacing over here. So we'll pass left 20.0 from the right 20.0. If you want, you can also increase the size up to 300, will be too much, maybe 250 or 220. Yeah, so here it is, and here you can see the three recipes in the main course. So here you can see that the main course category have been shown in this document. That's why this recipe will be shown in the main course category. Now you can provide the space from the top. So as you can see that when I tap to this recipe, it simply moved to the recipe.dart page. Now we can pass the height. So we'll write size box height maybe 20.0. Yeah, so here it is, and here you can see all the recipes according to the category that the user select. Now let's move to the final segment of our recipe app, which is a search bar. So in the search bar, I'm going to write a recipe name which will be cheeseburger, and it will simply show me the recipe over here. And when I'll tap to this recipe, it will move me to the recipe.dart page. So by this way, I can move to the respective recipe quickly, and it will give a better experience for the user who are using the app. Now to set a searching feature in the recipe app, we need to make some of the changes in the add recipe.dart page, because first we need to enter a key which will be the specific key. Like for an example, if the food name is cheeseburger, then our key will be C, So it will be basically a first letter of the food name, and by this character we can simply search all the different recipe which user type on this text field. Now we need to pass a key, so I will simply write a key, and we need to pass name controller dot text dot substring, and we need to get a first character of the food name, so I will simply pass 0 to 1 and dot to uppercase. Now we need to pass a searched name, and we need to simply pass a name controller dot text to uppercase, so that we can speed up the search by just passing the name in the uppercase. So here it is done. Now let's move to the home.dart page again, and we need to add a function. So I will write var query result set, and will simply result set, and will simply pass this list, which will be null list, and will pass temp search store, and will again pass a null list again. So we need to pass a function name which will be initiate search. So I will write initiate search, and we need to pass a value. So if value dot length will be equals to 0, then we'll pass a set state, and in the set state we'll again change the query result set to null, and same temp search store to null, and we'll again pass a set state here, and we'll pass, we need to write a search so that we can handle that. I will simply do one thing, like we can make a search to true, like the search user is searching by using this text field, and we can simply remove this category and the trending recipe from here, and we can simply show the search recipe here in the home page. So to handle that case, we need to create a bool, and we'll simply pass search to false, and we'll pass search to true. Var capitalized value, so I will write capitalized value, yeah, and we'll pass value dot substring substring up to 0 to 1 dot to uppercase, to upper case, plus value dot substring plus value dot substring to 1, yeah. So this function will basically, like for an example, if I will write C, then it will show me all the food name that starts with C. Then if I'll write H, then CH, then it will show the food name that start with CH. So this is an advanced searching that you usually found in big apps like an Amazon, Flipkart. So this is that type of searching feature that we are going to use in this app, and through this way the user don't need to write a complete recipe name. By just writing a simple 2 to 3 character, he can find a recipe quickly by using this text field. So now let's move, and we'll pass that if query result set,
is empty, or if the value length is equals to 1, then we'll use a database methods and we show a search document over here. Now let's move to the database.dart and we need to create a function search. So I will write future query snapshot. So we'll write query snapshot search, which will be a function name. We need to pass a string which will be a name and the async return await Firebase firestore dot instance dot collection, and our collection name is recipe. So I'll write recipe dot where. So we have wrote key. So I will simply write key is equal to name dot substring 0 to 1 dot to uppercase. Yeah. Now dot get. So here we have wrote a search function that we will be using in the initiate search function. So I will simply pass over here. So I will write database methods dot search and we need to just pass a value. So I will write value dot then and we'll pass a respective document. So I will write query snapshot docs for int I equals to 0. I should be greater than docs docs dot docs dot length. Yeah, and we'll simply pass plus plus I. Now we'll pass query result set dot add and we'll simply add the result that have been shown by the documents from the firestore and we'll pass docs dot I dot data. I think so, as I've told in the starting of the video, like if you have followed my old series, then you won't find too difficult to add the search feature. But don't worry, if it is your first time, you can code along with me or you can follow the source code and can get to know what all things I am writing in the initiate search function. It will be better like if you follow my other series, like it will help you to get lots of things regarding the Flutter and Firebase. Now we'll pass, if it will be else, then temp search store will be null and will pass query result set dot for each. So I will write for each. Now here in the element will pass if element and we need to pass the element name which we have wrote here, which is searched name, and we'll paste it same over here. Yeah, dot starts with capitalized value. Yeah, something like this. Now we'll pass a set state and in the set state I will simply pass temp store dot add element. So this is a list that we have wrote in the starting and we are going to search through the search text field. And for an example, as I've told you, like if it will be like C, then if there will be only one recipe have been added in the firestore, then it will show a cheeseburger, and it will simply add this cheeseburger in the temp search store, and we need to call temp search store list to show this name in the home page. So it is very easy. So if you code along with me, then you can get to know what all things I am writing in the initiate search function. Now after this, let's move, and if the search will be true, then I am going to show the result. So first I will write search will be true. I will wrap up with a column with it because I don't want to show the category and this trending recipe item. One more thing, let's call the initiate search function in this text field. So where is our text field? So here it is. Now we need to just pass like on change, and in the on change we need to track a value, and we need to pass this value in initiate search. So I will write value dot, and we need to pass it to uppercase, so we'll write dot to uppercase. So here it is done. Now let's pass the search character, boolean character. So we'll need to show a list view, so I will simply pass a list view, and we'll pass the padding, which will be edge insert dot only from the left 10.0, from the right 10.0. Yeah, and we can pass the primary, which will be false. Sync and wrap will be true, so sync and wrap will be true. Yeah, and the children, in the children, as I have told you that we are going to store all the result in the temp search store list. So we are going to show the temp search store list dot map, and through the map we are going to show the element, and we can pass this to the element, and we can pass this. And first we need to return, so I will simply write return, and we need to return a function name which will be built result card. So let's move, and we'll create a widget name which will be build result card, and in the card we need to pass first a data that have been shown over here, and then we can simply return a container first. So I will write container, and we can pass a margin, which will be edge insert dot symmetric from the vertical direction, which will be 8. Now we can pass a child material widget. Yeah, something like this. We can also pass the elevation up to 5.0, border radius, which will be border radius dot circular up to 10, and we can pass the child container. Yeah, padding edge insert dot all 18. So you might be thinking that why I'm writing build result card function over here. So in the data, for an example, the temp search store will show the respective document, and in the data we are going to pass all the respective document field name, and through the field name I'm just creating this UI so that I can simply show this data over here in the home page. So let's move, and first we need to write a decoration which will be box decoration. Now we'll pass a color which will be colors dot white. Yeah, border radius which will be border radius dot circular 10. After this we need to pass a child, and we can pass a row. Inside the row we'll write children. Now we'll use a clip react widget because as I want to provide the border radius to this image, so I will write border radius dot circular up to 60. Now we can pass the child again, and we'll pass image dot network because image is in the form of the link. And here comes why I have wrote data, and we can simply pass a field name which we have stored in the Firebase, which is image. We can pass the height up to 70, width up to 70, and fit boxfit dot cover, something like this. Now we can provide the size box with 20.0. Again, we can write a text, and we'll simply pass a, wait a second, pass a field name which is data name. We can write style. We can use app widget class, app widget dot bold text field style. Yeah, so here it is done. We have shown the image and the name. Now we can simply return a function that we have wrote, which is build result cart, and we can pass the element, yeah, dot to list. Yeah, so we have wrote a complete backend for our search feature. So let's hot restart the app again. So as you can see that after running the app, the widget stuck one over the another. Like as you can see, the text widget stuck with a search bar, or you can say a text field, and text field stuck over the text widget. So this is happening because as in the home page we have used the expanded widget, and in the expanded widget we have wrapped with a column widget. So we need to remove the column widget from here, otherwise it will show that error. So once I will remove this column widget, then I can easily use the expanded widget. But to use this case, I need to pass a search, and if the search will be true, then we'll just show the container, and if not, then we'll show the all recipe. Now let's hot restart the app again. So here you can see the category and the trending recipes. Now let's test the search bar for what all function we have wrote in the home page. So I will simply write C H. So here you can see a cheeseburger, and it is working brilliantly. And you can see that if I just wrote ch, and it frequently shows me the cheeseburger. Now for an example, if I will write pi, so just writing pi, it shows me a pizza. So here you can see that by just writing a starting name of that recipe, we can successfully see that recipe name, and it is working brilliantly. And for an example, if I will just write p, then it will show me all that recipes that starts with p. So here you can see the result like pancake and pizza. So now if I'll type I, then it will show me pizza. Now if I'll type A, it will show me pancake. So you can see that this is what we needed for our search bar to be working, and it is working brilliantly. Now when I tap to any of the food items, or you can say recipe items, for an example, if I'll tap to pizza, nothing happens because we didn't wrap up with a gesture detector. You can just wrap up with a gesture detector and can push the user to the recipe dart page again. So I will write navigator dot push material page root, context, and we'll push the user to the recipe dot page, and we can just add a food name. So we need a data name, so I will write data, and we'll write data and the field name which is name. So I will write the field name which is name, and same for the image. So we'll write data and the field name which is image, and same goes for the recipe. So for the recipe you already know that there is a field name detail, not details. Okay, so here it is done. Now let's hot restart the app again, and we'll simply write ch, so cheeseburger. Yeah, now we'll tap to the cheeseburger and we'll frequently move to the recipe page, from where we can see this complete recipe of this search food item. So here it is done, and we have made a complete recipe app from the scratch, where I have shown you each and every step to be added from the Firebase, and how to upload the data to the Firestore database and Firebase storage. And I have also taught you how to search a food recipe from the search bar and can directly move to that recipe by using just a simple text field. Also, if you haven't followed our any of the last series like chat app, to do app, or you can say food delivery app, e-commerce app, then I will highly recommend you to please follow that series, because by following that series you can add some more apps to your app bucket list. I think so this was the 10th app in this channel. So we have successfully added 10th app to your app bucket list if you have followed my 9th apps before. So do not forget to hit that subscribe button, because I am going to bring some more awesome series on this channel, because there is some more interesting apps that I have in my mind. So do not forget to hit that subscribe button, because we are going to bring that series soon on this channel. Until then, keep coding, keep having fun. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.